If there's one thing Singles Inferno never fails at, it's bringing contestants that stir up extreme emotions, whether it's love, hate, or that burning curiosity that keeps us binge-watching episodes without blinking. In the 4th season, one of the names that stood out from the very beginning was Yuk Jun Seo. Charismatic, confident, and clearly aware of his good looks, he seemed like one of the favorites to steal the spotlight on the reality show. But as we know, things can change quickly. What began as admiration for the Prince Charming has turned into widespread rejection, all because of his behavior, especially toward women. As the episodes progressed, Yuk Jun Seo went from being the audience's darling to one of the most criticized participants of the season. At first, he impressed viewers with his laid-back personality and mysterious approach to getting close to the female contestants. However, as the show advanced, fans began to notice a less appealing side to his behavior. Let's break down exactly what went wrong for Yuk Jun Seo. Early on, Jun Seo showed interest in several women in the house, which isn't uncommon in the context of the reality show. After all, Singles Inferno is about exploring connections, and the program's dynamic encourages this. However, the problem began when he started shifting his interest too frequently, leaving the contestants and the audience confused. In one episode, he seemed deeply interested in Chun Yoo-jin, only to act as if she never existed in the next. This inconsistency was seen by many as an attempt to manipulate the women's emotions to stay in the spotlight. The audience also took issue with how Jun Seo handled rejection. When Yoo-jin herself made it clear that he wasn't her priority, his reaction was deemed immature. Instead of accepting it respectfully and moving on, he made passive-aggressive comments and tried to invalidate her feelings in front of the other contestants. This behavior quickly drew criticism from fans, who took to social media to express their frustration. Comments like, "The way Jun Seo is implying that she was fake during their initial meet is annoying me. They hate to see a bubbly girl," began to appear. One of the most criticized moments involving Jun Seo happened in a recent episode when he had an argument with a contestant over her choice during a group activity. During the game, he made remarks considered disrespectful about Yoo-jin while she was visibly affected by alcohol consumption. Instead of offering support or showing concern, Jun Seo chose to sit at a distant table with a few other participants and speak negatively about Yoo-jin behind her back without giving her the chance to defend herself. This behavior was widely interpreted as insensitive and disrespectful. Netizens were quick to point out that Jun Seo's behavior reflects problematic patterns many women face in relationships. "This is the kind of man who thinks he's always right and never reflects on his actions," one Twitter user wrote. Others highlighted that his attitude was a classic example of how seemingly small behaviors can reveal larger issues. Unsurprisingly, the backlash spilled over to Jun Seo's social media accounts. Although he had gained many followers at the beginning of the reality show, his numbers have steadily declined over the past few weeks. Many users have been leaving direct criticisms on his posts, with some comments accusing him of being disrespectful and even manipulative. While he has disabled comments on some photos, the internet is relentless. Screenshots and discussions about him continue to circulate across various platforms. While some argue that he's being unfairly judged, the majority seem to agree that his behavior on the show has been disappointing. Fans have compared his participation to that of other men from previous seasons, noting that even past villains had a charisma or backstory that made their actions somewhat understandable. In Jun Seo's case, viewers are struggling to justify his behavior. With growing public rejection, the question remains, can Yuk Jun Seo redeem himself for the remainder of the season? Some fans believe he still has time to change his attitude and regain some favor, but so far the damage seems irreparable. His image as the perfect guy from the start of the season has been completely tarnished. If Singles Inferno has taught us anything, it's that public opinion can shift overnight, but in Jun Seo's case, he'll have to make a much greater effort to win back the support of viewers who have already given up on rooting for him. And while Yuk Jun Seo has sparked conversations with his controversial actions, another topic that's been making waves this season is the treatment of contestant Bae Ji Yeon. Unfortunately, it's not because of something she did, but rather something seemingly beyond her control, her skin tone. Ji Yeon, who is stunning and has caught the attention of some viewers as one of the most beautiful cast members, appears to be systematically overlooked by the other participants. What could have been a lighthearted debate about preferences has turned into a serious discussion about colorism. Bae Ji Yeon stood out from the beginning with her striking appearance and charismatic personality. With bold features and naturally tanned skin, she stands apart from the beauty standards that typically dominate Korean reality shows. However, instead of this being a positive highlight, it seems to have become a barrier for her on the show. Throughout the episodes, it's become evident that Ji Yeon has received far less attention than the other contestants, even though, in my opinion, she's more beautiful successful than most of them. While other women in the house were constantly being chosen for activities, conversations, and dates, Ji Yeon was often left out. This disparity hasn't gone unnoticed by viewers, who quickly began questioning whether this treatment is rooted in colorism, a recurring issue in many Asian countries, including South Korea, where lighter skin tones are still often associated with beauty standards. On social media, the debate is heated. Many fans point out that Ji Yeon's isolation seems far deeper than just personal preferences. It's impossible to ignore that the only contestant with darker skin is being completely overlooked, one Twitter user wrote. Another comment on a forum was even more direct. I don't get why they cast darker women if they know the men won't show any interest. It's kind of cruel to set these women up like that. On the other hand, some argue that it could simply be a matter of compatibility. To these viewers, what's happening on the show is just a normal dynamic in a reality program where not everyone connects. However, given the history of colorism in the Korean entertainment industry, many find it hard to believe this is just a coincidence. One particular episode fueled even more outrage among fans. During an activity where participants had to choose someone to spend time alone with, Ji Yeon was completely ignored. Despite several opportunities for the men to approach her, none took the initiative. The scene was uncomfortable to watch, especially because Ji Yeon tried to engage openly and warmly, but ultimately ended up visibly isolated. Additionally, there were moments where she seemed excluded from conversations or even ignored during group activities. For viewers, this was yet another indication that the issue goes beyond mere incompatibility and reflects a broader pattern of behavior. It's hard to imagine how this situation affected Ji Yeon inside the show. Reality programs like Singles Inferno put participants in vulnerable positions where their actions and reactions are constantly analyzed and judged. Being ignored or excluded not only places her in an uncomfortable position, but could also impact her self-confidence. From the audience's perspective, Ji Yeon's case is sparking an important conversation about colorism and how it continues to influence society and entertainment in Korea. International fans, in particular, have been vocally critical about how the Korean entertainment industry needs to evolve to embrace more diversity in beauty standards. Comments like, "The problem isn't that they don't like her, but that she isn't even being considered," highlight how this situation extends beyond Singles Inferno. It reflects broader societal issues. Despite everything, Ji Yeon has been building a loyal fan base outside the show. Many viewers, especially international ones, have praised her beauty and the way she's handling the situation on the program. In forums and on social media, users are calling for Ji Yeon to receive the recognition she deserves. As for the show, the question remains whether this topic will be addressed directly or remain a veiled issue. In a reality series that prides itself on showcasing different dynamics among participants, ignoring this debate could be a mistake. After all, Singles Inferno is increasingly under the global public eye, and viewers expect more sensitivity and inclusivity.